Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm Gamesplaining Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl has just received its 4th edition a few months back, at the end of 2016. It is a reboxing, a reprinting of the 3rd edition. There is very, very little difference between the two. In fact, all the differences come with the expansions and the extensions. The basic rules of the game remain the same. So I haven't bothered to purchase Edition 4 because it is the same game. I have downloaded the rules, had a look through, and found that I've got it all. I don't need it. So this is my original 3rd edition box. It's very dusty, very old. It's about 20 years old now. I still have it. I still play this game 20 years on. I still play this game and I absolutely adore it. I think that Blood Bowl is one of the best games that I own. It's most definitely the best game that Games Workshop have ever produced. I'm so glad that they have reprinted it because there's been people searching for this game for ages. What is Blood Bowl about? It is a tabletop version of football set in the Warhammer fantasy world, using all the races from Warhammer. It is a 2-player only game. The winner of the game is the person who scores the highest points by getting the ball from their side of the pitch across their touchdown line, just in any game of football. Now, I am not a sportsing fan at all. I dislike sports. I do not watch sports. I have zero interest in sports, yet this game really speaks into my wheelhouse. I think that the tactics on this game alone are enough to keep it interesting game in, game out without anything changing. There are a couple of there is one main expansion called the Death Zone box, which you can get with the game at the moment. You can download the rules for that as well. All that does is enables you to play with many more races than are available in the main box set, and also run a league, so you can actually have your teams. What happens in one game affects what's going to happen in future games. I really love that way of playing a game, and that's probably one of the things that's held me with the game for so long. I'm one of those crazy people that when 3rd edition went out of print, or when they stopped printing the miniatures especially, I went chasing them, and I bought up all of the teams. I think I've got about 20 teams now that I play with. Any of my friends who are willing to play the game, I just pull out my teams and play. The idea behind the game is that each person would own their own team, and you'd take your one team through many games and through leagues, and your team would evolve and you would evolve with your team. There's definitely a level of ownership when you play that way. However, because I'm the only person who has owned the game for a long time, and the others aren't as invested in gaming as I am and haven't really been willing to get their own teams, I've just used my teams and we've upgraded them. Whoever's playing this team, they upgrade them when they play, and that has worked out really well. The only downfall that I can see at the moment with this particular edition is in the app. The app is awesome, don't get me wrong, don't misunderstand me. It is an awesome app. It helps you be able to keep track of your team so easily, but it is built to only have one team on the app playing at a time. So I can't take all 20 or so of my teams, put them into the app, and play them against each other. I've got to run 2 different devices. That's really frustrating for me as someone who's been trying to build these teams up for a while. And it's also next to impossible, or at least I haven't discovered the way to import the already developed teams that I've been developing over the last however many years I've been playing with these particular teams. The beauty of the league system is that at any point we can just call it and say, okay, these teams have gone far enough. I'm going to start back at 0. Everyone's back at 0. We're starting fresh, and realistically, if we want to use the apps, that's probably what we're going to have to do. If anyone from Games Workshop's watching, I am pleading you, please find a way to sync apps across a league so that everyone's teams can have their information in the same app, and also so that multiple games can happen with teams that are in the same app. Please. I know no one from Games Workshop's watching, but let's hope. I hear you asking, Jeff, why are you gamesplaining Blood Bowl? This isn't a Euro game. Games Workshop is not a company that produces Euro games. All these games behind me have nothing to do with the world of Warhammer or Blood Bowl or any miniatures. These are all what we call Euro games. Euro games rely heavily on tactics. They try to get away from relying on random chance. The big thing that makes the difference between Euro games and these other types of games, these war games, or some people might call them a Ameritrash or Amerithrash. Games where you throw a whole bunch of dice when you're fighting each other, and whatever those dice rolls are dictates the outcome of a particular battle. Yes, there's a little bit of that in Blood Bowl, but Blood Bowl in essence is a tactical game. Yes, you need to mitigate the risk of the dice rolls, and that's actually part of the tactic, is knowing I've got a 1 in 6 chance of failing to do this, or I've got a 1 in 6 chance of succeeding to do this, and working out which one is going to work best, because as soon as you fail to do something, it's the end of your turn. That is one of the heart aspects of Blood Bowl, knowing just when to perform each action, and I think because of that, it actually speaks into my Euro gameness. Other than that, Blood Bowl is probably the game that's responsible for me still looking at games and enjoying games. That is the game that I picked up most of all when I was in my teenage years. Games Workshop kind of really came through and hit us, and we had this group who were playing Warhammer Fantasy, we were playing Warhammer 40k, and we started playing Blood Bowl. I think we even had to go at Man of War for a while, for those who remember that game. I'm sure I've still got a copy somewhere. But Blood Bowl was the one that really drew me. Fantasy a little bit. Necromunda, I really enjoyed that for the same reason as I love Blood Bowl, because of this whole campaign or league idea where what you do one game directly affects the next game. Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer 40k, they don't have that ongoing thing. Sure, you can play through different scenarios and have them affect each other, but not quite to the extent of what we're talking about here. If you are someone who has previously played Edition 3, maybe it was 20 years ago that you played it, it's still the same game. It still has the same nuances. It still has the same teams, the same ideas. All you need to get through with trying to understand what's in your team, what you're looking at, is what those statistics mean. So the movement, the agility, the strength, and the armor value. Once you've got those numbers, just understanding how to manipulate them. So you're with the agility, you're looking onto a table to see what you need to roll to be able to do anything that needs agility. So throwing a ball or trying to get away from people, or catching a ball, picking up a ball, pretty much anything with the ball needs that agility. So that's the one you're looking at. For movement, it's just literally these are the number of squares on the board that you can move. For strength, you're looking at your strength against someone else's strength to see how many dice to roll. And with the armor value, you're just looking at, I've got to roll higher than that figure for the other player in order to actually hurt them. This is such a good game because you can get caught up with trying to hurt each other more than getting the ball across the line, but you've got to remember that that's what's going to win the game. So teams that don't have much of a strength to them will actually quite often win, because when they go up against the strength teams keep trying to knock them down, and they just run past them and get the ball across the line. Because of that kind of changes in the level of each team, it actually makes it a really, really interesting game every time you play. Yes, you're going to find you go for some of the similar tactics, but this tactic that works against one team may not work against another team. What I do when I'm playing with orcs against elves won't work if I'm playing the elves against humans. It's totally different tactics, and getting your head around those tactics is part of the fun of this game. There's so many different YouTube videos and podcasts and web pages that are dedicated to this game. It's worthwhile taking a look at it. It's worthwhile having a game, see what you think of it, get into it, get some friends involved. It is only a 2-player game. If you have more than 2 players wanting to play at the same time, I suggest building your own field. This is the field that I use a lot. I'm not using this in the Gamesplanations, but that's the field that I actually prefer using. So I place the bought field against my personally owned built field, and one player per team, 4 teams playing 2 different games. Winner plays winner. Play 2 games in an afternoon. It's a great way to spend an afternoon, and a lot of fun. So I hope that my Gamesplanation helps you get Blood Bowl to the table. It is such a good game, It needs the support, and there's so many people who have been wanting it to come back. I'm so happy it's here. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. Please subscribe to my channel. Push that button. Or is it on that side? Push the button wherever it is. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to see what games I've been playing. Until next time, enjoy gaming.